the first stage was infant. When a man gets birth, he is considered, or simply he is an infant. When he is dependent on others, the second stage that was defined by William Shakespeare, that was school going boy, again he is unwilling to go. Then the third stage that we talked about, lover. The fourth stage, that is soldier. Okay, when he is ready to face any harm, when he is ready to sacrifice his life, in that fourth stage. And the fifth stage that we talked about was justice. Okay, when he is a member of his family, when he decides, when he has decision making power to him. So that was the fifth stage that we talked about. And today, in connection with that lecture, we are going to continue this, and we will be discussing sixth and seventh age of man defined by William Shakespeare, as well as we would like to explain this poem, means the further explanation of this poem, that what is the theme of this poem and what is the message of this poem, what we have learned from this poem that is defined by William Shakespeare. According to him, there are different 7 ages of a man. Okay, and the philosophy that I told you in previous lecture, that the philosophy of William Shakespeare's poem is very simple, that he considers this entire world as a stage where we all human beings come and play our parts. Okay, so stage, this world is a stage, and men and women are only players here, who have been given given different tasks to perform, different roles to perform. And the most important thing that Shakespeare has defined, that the life of a human being is like a drama. Okay, as I told you in previous lecture, that William Shakespeare was popularly known as a dramatist. That's why he considered human's life as a drama. Okay, so continuing our talk, let me say something regarding the sixth stage that Shakespeare has defined. But before this, let's have a brief recap of our previous talk. The 7 Ages of Man by William Shakespeare, and it is a speech from As You Like It. And remember this, that this is the famous comedy written by William Shakespeare. All the world is a stage. We all know that according to Shakespeare, according to his idea, according to his philosophy, that what he thought about this world, he thought about this world, that this entire world is like a stage, and all the men and women are only players, merely players. Okay, the world is a stage, human beings are actors, players who are here to perform their roles. They have their exits and their entrances. It means they have their births and their deaths. Okay, of course it is quite obvious that we all human beings have our exits, entrances and exits. And one man in his lifetime, you may call it, one man in his life plays many parts. Okay, plays many roles. His acts being 7 ages, and according to William Shakespeare, that his actions, his acts are divided into different 7 parts or acts. At first, he is simply a child, innocent child, who knows nothing about this world. Why? Because whenever a child gets a birth, he is quite new. He is unfamiliar to this world. Okay. Then, at first, the infant who is totally dependent on others, who simply cries and vomits in nurse's arms, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Then the second stage starts. Whining school boy who is unwilling to go to school with his satchel. I told you in previous lecture that word satchel is an archaic word, means old word, or in other words you may call it outdated. Okay, what we mean by archaic? Archaic word means outdated, which is no more in use. Okay, or you may call it old word. Simply, that was nearly a century before this poem was written. Okay, that's why Shakespeare used archaic words in his poem. So satchel here means a bag, school bag, and shining morning face creeping like snail. A student, a boy who is in his second stage. He is considered as a school going boy who is really unwilling to go to school, who does not want to join a school. Why? Because he simply thinks that this is quite a new experience for him. That's why he is not willing by himself or herself. Okay, unwillingly to school, and then the lover, the third stage, that is, you may call it impassionate and really full of emotions, full of feelings, full of thoughts. That stage is known as a lover, the third stage of a human being. So in that stage, he simply burns like a fire in love for her beloved, for his beloved. Okay, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad, and he used to sing awful ballads, or you may call it sad songs, made to his mistress I brew, then a soldier. Then a soldier, the fourth stage that starts, that is soldier. When in this stage he is, you may call it, fearless. He does not have any kind of fear. He is bold enough. He is quick in quarrel. Okay, he is quick in quarrel, and he is brave like lion. So then a soldier full of sorry for that. Then a soldier full of strange oaths and bearded like the bard. The stage that is defined by Shakespeare, that in this stage he is fearless, he is ready to fight, he is ready to sacrifice his own life, and he is as brave as a lion. Then jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel. Remember this thing, that this is a kind of a stage where everybody seems to be jealous. Jealous in terms of what? Jealous in terms of getting honor or respect, okay, by people. Then seeking the bubble reputation. Here William Shakespeare has used an archaic word again. Okay, soldier simply wants to sacrifice his life. He is brave and he wants to earn respect. Okay, respect and reputation, which is no more, not more than a bubble reputation, a reputation that can be soon be forgotten. Okay, so Shakespeare has said in this line, or in these lines, that he is keen of getting honor and respect from people, but as he dies, as his life comes to an end, soon he will be forgotten by people. And this is the natural phenomena. This is the natural rule, a natural law of this world, our human beings, that we always forget everybody. Okay? There are some people who are special ones and they remain alive forever on our hearts. We always used to miss them, but according to Shakespeare, that commonly it has been observed, usually it has been observed, that the reputation that we earn, that we get from society, it will be forgotten soon, very soon. So that's why he has used the word bubble reputation. So soldier is in search of getting respect and honor, that is simply nothing more than a bubble reputation. You can call it bubble reputation because of bubble can be, can burst anytime, and that's why your respect and honor would be forgotten forever. So even in the canyon's mouth, so he does not care about the weapons. Okay, he does not cares about weapons. Why? Because he is brave enough to face any hardship, even in the canyon's mouth. And then the justice, the fifth stage that we talked in previous lecture, that justice, he is a family member, you may call it a member who decides. Okay, in fair round belly with good capion line, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut. So at this stage, he simply have a formal cut, beard like a formal cut. Then the one thing that is really important at this stage, that a man becomes so wise, a man becomes so visionary. That's why he always used to give uh, wise sayings. He is full of wise sayings. Okay, good thoughts. So with eye severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, he always used to give examples of modern life. Why? Because he is quite experienced. Now moving further to sixth stage that we left in previous lecture, that is, and so he plays his part. The sixth age shifts. Now the age is shifting from fifth to sixth age into the lean and sleepered pantaloon. In this stage he becomes weak. Okay, most of the time you have seen old people who may always lean, their backbones, they become so weak in their physique that they can't do anything. So into the lean and sleepered pantaloon with the spectacles on nose and pouch on side. So it has been deeply observed that whenever a man gets older, he becomes so conscious about saving things. Okay, there are examples at our homes, in our society, that we have seen many old people who always used to keep their old things, their memorial things, in their pockets. Why? Because they are quite conscious about saving things that they used in their youth. So his youthful horse well saved. Okay, as I told you, well saved, a world too wide. The world is quite wide for him, but for his shrunk shank and his big manly vice. Now this is the stage where his vice becomes, okay, his vice becomes quite, you may call it, thin. Then, and his big manly voice turning again toward childish treble pipes. Have you ever seen, okay, especially my students, have you ever noticed, whenever a man becomes so old physically, तो उसकी आवाज़ जो है वो जैसे सीटियाँ निकलती हैं हमारी, यानी बात करते हुए, so that, okay, जैसे वो बात करेगा तो उसकी आवाज़. Okay guys, there was a connectivity issue, that's why, and let me repeat the thing that we were discussing, the form of this poem, in which form this poem has been written. This poem is written speech. Okay, so the seven ages of man is in the form of speech. Shakespeare has narrated all the aspects of human life. There are different aspects of human life. Tell me.